Read it for me. What is something you wish people should be more considerate of? Their surroundings. Some people are just completely unaware, and it seems to think that the world revolves around them. Yes! The other day, I was walking down the sidewalk. I was in a really touristy part of the city I live in, and there was a group of 10 plus women taking up the entire sidewalk, standing and having a conversation. No one could get through. I said, "Excuse me," a couple times, and I was completely ignored. So I shrugged my shoulders and just pushed my way through. One of the women gasped and started immediately ranting about how rude and awful I was. And I'm standing there like, dude, you're blocking the busiest sidewalk in the busiest part of one of the busiest cities in America. Go away with your nonsense. People commonly walk 5+ deep, slowly on sidewalks in downtown Seattle, especially in the business district where I'm usually at and hurrying. However, I don't normally have problems because when I come up on people doing this, I go beep beep, coming through, get out of the way, or honk, honk, all while not slowing down, and people always move and no one's ever gotten confrontational about it. Wear a bicycle bell around your wrist like a watch. Same thing with grocery stores. Don't park your shopping cart in the middle of the aisle, Karen. You're catching up with a friend who just happened to be shopping too? Cool. Maybe just don't stand in the middle of the goddamn aisle to do it. Basic shopping etiquette, people. Nowhere near as bad as the people that suddenly stop dead in half a pace and then complain when you brush past them and attempt not to smash into them. You really shouldn't be just shoving people's carts out of the way. People have the right to blah blah blah, and it might even be an important text and blah blah blah. Look at her. Count to 1 and then grab that person's cart and fling it down the aisle. Another option is to start grabbing anything near you that you could be putting in her cart until she freaks out and moves. Being confrontational is a blast. It gets easier the more you do it. If it's not harmful, and the most trouble you'll get is security possibly saying, "Please don't do that," then why not? Your life sounds way more fun than mine. My anxiety would never let me do something like that. Feels. I was in Target the other day, and this woman stopped in the middle of the aisle with her cart sideways to send a text, and then after standing there for 5 seconds, I said, "Excuse me," and then she had the audacity to tell me, "Wait a second." If I was more confrontational, I would have shoved her cart out of my way. Wow, I'm from the Midwest, and just the concept of saying, "Wait a second," when you said "excuse me" is blowing my McFreakin' mind. If someone says "excuse me" to me, I basically vaporize into a mist so they can get through. It's the Ohio way. I'm originally from the Midwest, and now I'm living on the East Coast. It was a culture shock to say the least. People here are complete rude in comparison. I'm in a wheelchair attendant at the airport. I frequently have people walking slower than me and meandering back and forth across my path because they can't walk in a straight line whilst staring at their dang phone. I have people come to a full stop right in front of the chair I'm pushing and then look at me like I'm the rude one or I nearly hit them. I've had people walk straight towards me staring at their phone. I have nowhere to go and to get around them because all the other people meandering down the concourse staring at their phones. I've had people straight across my path as if I didn't exist, or if them getting to where they need to be is more important than the airport employee getting the person in my chair to where they need to be. I've taken to just saying, "Excuse me," very loud and barreling on through. Recently, I was behind another car at a stoplight. The person in front of me obviously texting. Light turns green. After 10 seconds and 3 cars in the next lane pass. I give a little honk to let the person in front of me know the light has changed. She holds up her index finger in the rearview mirror with a "hold your horses" gesture. After 10 seconds of her being parked in traffic to text, I laid on the horn until she threw her hands up in the air like I was the a-hole and drove off. The world would be a better place if people just stopped and thought about their actions affected people around them. Everyone seems to be in a me thought process. It would also be better if we publicly shamed people who didn't think about these things. I firmly believe if people didn't back down to idiots who did stupid stuff like this, they'd eventually just stop because of the shame.